Okay, my nuclear friends, let's talk about combustion. What is this? This is a hydrocarbon, hydrogen surrounding a carbon core. What causes the explosive, energetic product of hydrocarbons when you burn them in a car? What is it? What causes that? How come how does the engine run? Why do the pistons go? What happens? What happens? And they'll say, I know they're going to say, I know what the chemistry is, but I want to know what the actual interaction in the piston is. What forces that piston to move like that? And why does the hydrocarbons make combustion? What is it that combusts, and why does it combust? And what is it that it gives off as a byproduct of that combustion, and why does it give off that byproduct of that combustion, which we call carbon dioxide? Now, I know there's going to be able to sort of work around and say, well, the carbon and the hydrogen and the oxygen and this and that happens, and it's a big thing, and the compression and explosion. And well, yeah, but I want to get down to the particles, and I know in electron flood theory, I know exactly what happens. I know there's almost no question whatsoever. It's electron flooding, and I can explain electron flooding in extreme, elegant detail. I feel elegant in my humblest of humble opinions, which is not very humble. At any rate, that's just a fact. We need to get down to what electron flood theory says about this, and I need to be able to debate somebody who can tell me how this works. Well, how does it work? Why does it burn? What's the big combustion? What's the energetic value? What's the difference between the different types of hydrocarbons? That's what I want to talk about. Okay, my friends, Roger Spur, Mud Fossil University, going through one of my most favoritist, bestest, wonderfulest topics in the whole world, which is chemistry, atomic physics, nucleuses, particle interactions, energy, dipole moments, polarities, magnetism. I mean, I love this stuff. All these different things, the transition metals, gases, how they share electrons, how they give and take in the body, in the blood, and it just turns me on. I can't help it. It's just the way I am. And I've been this way since I was like breathing oxygen. It's just the way I am. Now, so my point being here is he's going to be talking about solutions and how they interact. Now, I did this many, many years ago, very, very deeply. Let me get this is my electron flood model, which closes the case on electronics and energy and light and heat and nucleuses and everything as far as I'm concerned. However, I did I did a recalculation. I believe it's 1839 and 1840. Hold on. Okay, yeah, it's 1839. I believe this is, I'm still developing the model in its entirety, but the electron is a dipole. It has a positive and a negative side. The negative is what we always consider to be the electron showering, pushing part, and I'll go along with that. And the other side we never knew was there is the dark matter, which I show in the experiment, so it's not like it's not there. It is there. And it displays itself when you force it to crush into a magnetic region that displaces it, pushes it out. It won't allow it to be in there. It comes right back like that. And they know it's like 200 times more energetic coming back. They understand this, but they don't understand it started attached. They just say this particle here is very, very powerful puller, and it is. That's gravity. That's sucking these white balls back in. They would be white. It's red here because the background is white. But it sucks those in hard. Now, I did this my whole life. Now, this gives you the muons or the black balls, electron showers out of white balls. I've shown it hundreds of times, literally, in videos. This was what I did long, long ago. And this is all about how these mixtures work, hot and cold, and how the heat of neutralization, and these are different different mixtures that have a lot of electrons or not a lot of electrons, and then how it reacts under heat conditions, how it cools down, which ones cool down faster with the electrons, and and then you come in the heat of solution, the heat of reaction, you come up with all these different calculations and how they gain heat and lose heat and what happens to the electrons. And no matter what you do, by the time you get done, bingo, you're at electric power. It's nothing more than electrons. There's nothing more than electrons. So you always end up with power being dissipated. Anyway, there's a lot more to this, but I just want you to know that this, I'm not guessing a whole lot at this. I did it with all the doodles, and I said, when they told me, I said, you're going to have to accept what I'm telling you, and I said, no, you guys haven't had this right. It's not right. They said, oh yeah, we got all these doodles, and I showed it it's right. I said, well, give me the doodles. I can doodle too. And I did. I went through every single doodle they could give me. All this experiments and Millikan's oil drop and all, some of the stuff was, I disagree with a lot of the stuff, but there's no way that you can have a nucleus that is just a gigantic positive and then have a whole bunch of negatives surrounding it. It does not work. It's impossible. Literally impossible, and I was forced to try to make calculations based on that insanity. And I said, no, it doesn't work. I can do it. I know all the things that you're telling me to do. I can do those, but this is just not right. And that's when I really had trouble. And that's when I started to say, this is just insanity. I'm just not going to fall under these rules. Like, you have to do what I tell you. I had to pay to go to college. Well, I didn't have to pay. I went under the GI Bill. But somebody had to pay. So now they extort the money out of you. Then they force you to say what they tell you to say, or they keep your money and they destroy your life. I'm just not going with it anymore. And you shouldn't either. So what is the solution? Mud Fossil University, baby. No charge. Or at some point there may be something. I don't know. Somehow, I always found it was hard to get good help when you don't pay them. I had a business. I used to say that to the customers all the time. My wife was running the office, and anything went wrong, I'd blame it on her. And I'd say, yeah, it's tough to get good help when you don't pay them. And then I'd start laughing. They'd start laughing. And we'd pretty much smooth it over. As long as you take care of the problems. Things go wrong, you just take care of them. That's all. Same with this. Nobody expected these things I'm coming up with. I didn't expect them. But once I realized nobody cared about reality, I said, well, I'm going to check everything. And when I found out not one thing that I found was right. I'm telling you right now, zero.